Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another wondrous, another amazing Propagandacast from here, host Imperial Game off here, top 1 vs 1 on CoH2 Winter. We shall be watching Surprise here, fighting for the Soviet Union, taking on the mantle here of the 215th Rifle Corps, going up versus Blitz, fighting for Germany, for the Reich, and the 7th Panzer Division. Noting commanders are mechanized support, shock motor and shock rifle. A rather heavy amount of ISU-152s and some bombing strikes are available. And then finally also got shock rifles, so there's definitely going to be an abundance of shock troopers as a possibility. Grenadiers on the way, likely have a Blitz. Commanders for him are by the way. Oh, never mind, he's gone straight on for the Elite Truppen. Elite Truppen. The Grenadiers here on the way. Watch there being secured. Conscripts heading north as well here for Surprise.
You need something demolished?
Heading south there with his companies. Conscripts heading north. So far a decent spread there on the Soviet player. And question is, what will Blitz do? Shall he focus, or will he also try to spread out a bit more aggressively?
Red Army at your service.
Third conscript squad on the way.
You need something built?
It looks like he... no... is he? What are you doing, Blitz? Focusing or spreading? Do you know that the first Grenadier squad is supporting the Pioneers a bit here? It looks like he will be focusing up his forces on the southern part of the map. Seems to look like the second Grenadier squad is moving in there. Pioneers are getting the jump on the combat engineers by the looks of it. Almost. Rather rapid losses there. Grenadiers are on the move. Pioneers doing what they can here. Yuri down, Boris and Vasily, and there we go. We noticed here the Surprise was a bit surprised by the outcome and retreats. So Pioneers pushing forwards.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
And a third Grenadier squad there for Blitz. Northern fuel point being secured, southern fuel point also being secured, but by different players.
Cold out here.
Interesting enough, I would suggest you actually switch to the Pioneers back down and then have the Grenadiers move here. I mean, those are going to quickly go down in any... and, you know, maybe move those Grenadiers as well. No point in them standing about there by this cart. But it's a very pretty cart, Heinz. Stop saying that, Helmut. You sound a bit creepy. Or is he maybe just waiting to sort of link them up, or just hoping... or maybe, of course, I mean, it could be he was actually expecting some kind of push towards the cut-off point and rather common here as the Eastern player on CoH2. So in that department, it is not that hard to imagine that could have been a reason, though, of course.
Engineers standing by.
Fourth Grenadier squad, so rather heavy Grenadier spam there from Blitz, and blitzing force with the Pioneers, but again, rather low and healthy, should be using Grenadiers. Ah, Scheiße. Vorsicht.
There are no cowards here.
But then forming up to 2 Grenadier squads, or platoons, what do you call that? Spreading out a bit, then though at the same time, noting here it looks like Surprise is forming up a bit more, splitting up less. Again, not entirely a huge fan of the Pioneer spread here. Grenadiers making a push towards the north. Falling back here again. Blitz seems very anticipating a cut-off attack. And there you go, the Pioneers retreat, flamethrowers up. There's a Flammenwerfer. Grenadiers need to be careful, cover, but at the same time the conscripts are rushing in. We do see a Molotov attempt here, but at the same time the conscripts here did make a bit of bad moving around in the open. Another conscript moving out again, out in the open, actually moving slightly into the fire, or at least standing right next to it. Like moths for some reason. But at least they aren't running into it. And there you go, conscript pushed away. Bit of an odd engagement right here between Blitz and Surprise, to be fair, but then again there's very little cover here, so I suppose that was inevitable. But even then it is rather interesting to note. Another squad here seems to take rather punishing losses on the road. Another squad holding up there in the church. Pioneers not been enforced. Field hospital up here. So far 2 upgrades here for Surprise. Northern fuel pumping secured. Company's not doing too well either. Interesting, it's this idea that he attempted to push through there. He might want to sort of sneak up through there at the very least, but no. And the Grenadiers should actually shift over here so they are less exposed. There's only one window from the church here to fire from, and that will overall mean they'll have the advantage. And there we go, in fact, doing exactly that. Well done, and we're noting a 5th Grenadier squad. I think Blitz here might be going a bit too Grenadier heavy.
We are
Stun grenade going through there. Or a concussion grenade, whatever you will.
Your predecessor died a hero.
And we could see a counter squad here going down for surprise initially. Bit of a mistake there. He should have popped out the back door and then vaulted over here and then retreated. I mean, vaulting can make a difference. These cannoneers should also consider being pulled back. But again, a rather large shift into the fourth. 4 squads there, with some minor squads now in the center here. Quickly going to get pushed back by surprise.
How can we help?
And in fact, then as he hold up here, and then he all of a sudden now leaves the center exposed, opting out there for then having lost everything in a cut-off move. Bit of an odd decision then. Bit of an odd decision then from Blitz, who seemed very concerned about this and then all of a sudden ignores it completely, or doesn't even enforce a center guard. But anyways, we are now seeing that. Surprise is pushing in hard, going for those cut-off points, laying down mines as well. Good, good. Nice position for a mine, by the way.
I think I have snow in my pants.
Supply sector under attack.
Not sure what Blitz is thinking. He does not seem to be reacting. Bunker going up.
Red Army at your service.
4th counter squad arriving again. Looks like he might be home to sneak up here. More mines going up, really aggressively laying down mines while he has the time for it. Good, good. That's going to make any moves towards this area rather painful. Also interesting mine right there. Interesting positioning. Looks like he's finally mounting up for a counterattack to retake the cut-off points. He definitely needs to be a bit fast about this, a bit schnell. Medics hitting where this is grenadiers. Comms moving forward, so stun grenade here could be good. Not sure why the grenades are pulling that far away. And there we go, stun grenade goes off, but doesn't quite pull it off. Seems like Blitz's tactics are getting a bit erratic all of a sudden. There you go, squad wiped up by a mine on retreat.
We are losing territory.
Regaining a bit of initiative there for surprise. 2nd combat squad has arrived.
We are ready to build it or blow it.
Grenadiers retreating. As all of the forces there centered. And there we go, trying to regain some territory, but needs to be faster. And leaving the Pioneer squad here to hold the northern viewpoint. Interesting move. Could they at least maybe consider some S-mines instead, but there we go, retreating.
Territory is falling into enemy hands.
So right there we noticed that Surprise was actually able to, quite a long time, actually cut off Blitz from his resources. Again, I'm a bit surprised by the decision there by Blitz. Struck me as being rather peculiar. Of course, at the same time, he managed to deny his opponent a lot of resources, but rather than that actually managed to deny him any advantage he could have gained from that, so it looks a bit off.
Fresh units on the field.
But I digress. More mines going up there. Surprise, definitely not holding back. And we're noting a 3rd combat engineer squad. That's interesting. A bit surprising to see him get that many combat engineers. A 5th grenadier squad again. Seems like Blitz has a rather specific strategy in mind. Rather grenadier heavy. Still no taking up, at least so far from what I can see. Although of course he might be doing just taking out, just waiting for a higher building. But no light mechanized company. A bit interesting. Could it be he's rushing for armor somehow? But at the same time, the way he's been fuel points been getting cut off, he might in the end consider fuel cache here or there.
It's done. The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Another mine went off, and looks like those pioneers bit the dust, meaning we of course have to replace those. Gewehr 43s here being added. And getting mindful at long range, Grenadiers upgrade Gewehr 43s can actually lose the conscripts. Since again the Gewehr 43s are better shot to medium range. So it's important to keep in mind. So pop them company up, maximum following in, and then for surprise, a bit of taking up going on there. Pioneer squad arriving. Good try and rush the building there with a stun grenade, but looks like more forces are piling in here from surprise. Oh, there we go, stun grenade up. Leaving a bunch wounded, stunned, and 1 dead. Possibly also stunned that he was killed, but that's another discussion. Push up here. Comets walk down. And they need to fall back. Zurückfallen, Leute. And a Flammenwerfer secured here. Then he's holding up versus the combat engineers. Also upgraded with flamethrowers. And there we go. So Paul Armor Corps, so Blitz was in fact aiming for that.
Orders.
Combat engineers.
Grenadiers is retreating. He could aim for an early Stug, that could be used to catch his opponent a bit off guard. An early Flak Panzer could also be a very nice idea right now, considering the overall unit composition here of Surprise. That could really lay on the hurt there against Surprise. Punish the infantry very much. Of course, a Panzer IV could also work up quite reasonably. Still, the Grenadier heavy strategy to a certain extent has paid off alright here for Blitz, though it has also displayed some weaknesses in terms of defensive play. Lots of troops here freezing, might want to consider fire pit. And Pioneers launching a lonely assault down south. Popping out to Blitz.
Grenadiers.
Just a thought here, of course, but considering he's gone for elite troops, he could consider taking up fuel cache and then that way building a bit more fuel to sort of troop training, which again could give him a bit of an extra edge. I mean, a lot of people then tend to sort of ignore troop training. Again, I think well used, it can, be quite helpful, and certainly seen some players do quite well using it sort of really more properly as a part of the strategy, augment their troops. When, for example, using it to get a Panzer IV, you get earlier than, for example, better is quite handy. Or could be quite handy. Or for that matter, some Pioneers or Grenadiers or something else. Definitely a lot of options there, but rather requires he goes for them in the first place. Field on the way, obviously. Could be expecting his opponent to rush for armor. Give Air 43 and Flamethrowing a note here, medium to short range. They do a lot of damage, though. That Flamethrower also helps quite a bit. And looks like a rifle grenade as well. Germans, amongst the other few works who want to use rifle grenades. British were as well. Americans also were. Russians, on the other hand, did not use them. Fun fact. Maximum crew there cleared out.
How can we help?
Oops. It looks like he's aiming for the Panzerkampfwagen here, probably to give him a bit more of a sort of in-between option, because he might be worried his opponent is rushing for armor as well. Somehow, of course, going for a Flak Panzer might leave him a bit open. Of course, a Stu could still help, but that is merely guesses from me. Educated, but still. But following up with a Flak Panzer then might be an idea, because again we are noting it's a very infantry-heavy force, and a Flak Panzer wielded correctly could prove quite devastating and punish his opponent, particularly since it rather looks like here that Blitz is still not getting anything kind of armor. In fact, he's got quite a bit of fuel, which could indicate maybe, considering the commanders he has, he's aiming for some kind of higher tier armor in terms of doctrinal armor, and again then going for something that could really punish his current unit composition could be absolutely outstanding. And again, a Flak Panzer currently would be exactly that.
We are ready.
So those would be my thoughts on the department. Interesting enough, he's actually now getting an MG42 Blitz. But again, a fuel cache would be an idea. A fuel cache. Also looks like he lost another Grenadier squad though. So he died as heroes of Germany. And there gets a Panzerkampfwagen here. Conscripts out in the open, so to make them a bit easier to target with all these Grenadiers.
Ready.
And the Panzer IV arriving as well. Ooh, we could see a Conscript there going there for surprise. And there indeed, no surprise. Blitz charging to the centre. Maxim's actually creating a bit of a crossfire field there, pulling them away. More mines going up there, good, at the same time. Oh. Surprise is definitely not holding anything back there, and certainly tries to live up to his name in that department at the very least. Oh, stopping up right for the Maxim. Not well played there, Blitz, not well played. quiet here.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Surprise, holding on reasonably well.
Panzer 4.
Of course, he could consider trying to just vet up this Panzer IV using troop training. I mean, if you get that to veteran to aim veterans if they're reasonably fast, that could also prove to be quite devastating and could probably be cheaper than getting another Panzer IV and an Ostwind, at least in terms of fuel. So that would also be an interesting option there to consider for Blitz. I mean, try to get the most out of your commander as possible. And a veteran to 3 Panzer IV would be absolutely lethal. Going for the cop on there, another squad lost. Grenadiers now begin to bleed out much more heavily here, it would seem. Another mine there went off. And minesweeper might be an idea, considering the way that Blitz loves to mine. I mean, Surprise loves to mine and lay down surprises. Panzer IV taking fire. Surprise continues to fire away there. Suppressing most of the troops. Panzer IV could flank. Let's see for this Grenadier squad, by the way. 28 kills. Not bad, not bad. Those Grenadiers are definitely going to be quite a nuisance. And barraging here from the field gun. Grenadiers need to retreat, 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 retreat. A bit late there, that could prove. No, it looks like he manages it. Run, Heinz, run! Including quite a bit of manpower, Blitz should consider utilising it towards something. Field coasters again would be an idea. More infantry would be an idea. Something to replace all those men lost. Another Pioneer, by the way, could also be an excellent idea to speed up repairs.
Yes?
Just some thoughts there.
Grenadiers reporting objective captured. Grenadiers.
MG element ready.
Pulling back the field gun for reinforcement and such.
Are securing our territory. Panzer here.
Pushing for the fuel cache.
Don't let us freeze. You guys, listen
And there you go, an additional Pioneer on the way. Lovely.
Panzer 4 ready.
Panzer IV excitedly marches forwards. And finally getting a Pentaman machine gun. Also another Panzer IV is an option, so it's a flak Panzer. Either way, he probably should begin aiming to punish his opponent, getting to nothing like fuel taking. He should be expecting doctrinal armor heavier, and in that department, then punishing his opponent harder for not having anything between is going to be a better option.
Awaiting orders.
And there goes shock to driving, thus indicating either shock motor or
We get better every day.
shock rifle. Either those could be doubting, then again, either could also be limited. Again, you know, if you can punch in strong and early enough, he can punish it heavily. Again, a flak Panzer right now could punish either of those options reasonably well. Though again, another Panzer IV, I mean, just training up this Panzer IV could be good options. Then again, it rather relies on him actually punishing his opponent rather quickly, doing a lot of damage before he can get any of those things out on the field.
We are losing a sector.
But time for the mid-game analysis. We are seeing another Panzer IV on the way. This Panzer IV, by the way, could be used a bit more aggressively. Certainly try to clear up the center a bit, maybe. But Blitz is holding on alright. He's got, well, to a certain extent, a bit of an advantage. I mean, in terms of resources and damage, well, he's actually a bit behind. Though in kills, he's quite ahead. He's got the armor advantage, though. He's got a reasonable infantry advantage over some rather veteran grenadiers with Gewehr 43s, rather increasing the amount of damage they can do noticeably, punishing the Russians for being, well, not German. But at the same time, he might be a bit limited in some options. He's got a decent commander choice here. Again, though any commander can be decent, but, you know, at the same time, it also requires him using it. And so far, for example, he could easily be gaining himself a lot more advantages by using troop training for an example, and he isn't. I mean, if you could get up this Panzer IV bit with troop training, you could easily punish your opponent a lot more. I mean, a veteran 3 Panzer IV, again, I think, rather than just going for 2 Panzer IVs, could have been absolutely vicious, since again it would be armoured, and again it would also shoot rather fast and be mobile, which could really be something great to punish your opponent for basically lacking any armour. And only having 1 field gun. Or for that matter, flak Panzer, rather getting another Panzer IV now, of course, could also have its options, or benefits, but again, considering the overall possibilities of things looking out, he should consider just punishing his opponent before he can call in any sort of heavier doctrinal matters, because again, we've seen nothing in fuel, and again, that rather tends to indicate that. On the other hand, looking over here at Surprise, we are in fact seeing that it is shock motor, thus indicating an ISU 152. He's still a bit off, then again in the unit right now called in, and again pushed heavily enough, could punish Surprise for playing at it. But again, that rather requires that Surprise does it. And now he's setting up a munitions cache. Not really what I would imagine, or wanting to get a fuel cache would have been better, would have played up for more armor, but again also troop training. I mean, I do feel a bit sad every time I see someone go elite troops and then not use troop training at least a bit more aggressively or interestingly. Maybe only just even getting to wed up some support units, but even then, you know, using a bit can be quite helpful. And even then, I don't even think he, to be honest, used it to vet up his own MG42, which could also benefit from it magnificently. But look at Surprise again, you know, he needs to play a, to a certain extent, aggressive game, but he might want to consider actually setting up for more field guns, because at the same time, he's aiming for an ISU 152, but at the same time, he should also know what his opponent's gone for. Again, that's elite troops, which could indicate a Tiger race. And an ISU 152 might, in fact, struggle a bit with that on its own, with only one field gun in support. So you should probably try to sort of prepare a bit more for that. Of course, more mines will help. And of course, in that department, Blitz needs to get some minesweepers up. He can't really keep on just running into mines. That's not really good for the economy, or at least his economy. So that is definitely something that he should look into, but Surprise again needs to show up more, because again he should be knowing what command his opponent has chosen and what that could mean. Maximir firing red, Panzer 4 moving in. Firing away. Field gun opening up there, nice positioning. Pioneers pinned. And Combies are running into a bit of problem there with the gear for the free equipped Grenadier. Might be able to get those Combies though. Looks like it. Second Panzerkampfwagen 4 mobilized for the fight.
Panzer 4 ready. We have 300 points remaining.
Combat units obviously not in a good position.
He's shooting at us!
Not versus veterans of 3 Grenadiers, we give it for the 3s.
You need something
Interesting enough, he's not trying to repair that Panzer 4 a bit.
Panzer 4.
And again, considering how much he's had it out, he really hasn't been able to do much with it, which again also I think rather indicates he needs to be a bit more aggressive, and well, certainly isn't living up to the Blitz part of his name.
We are forced to be reckoned with now.
Anti-tank unit goes off there. Engine damage, not good. Pioneers are there to repair.
Destroyed. An infantry squad has been killed.
Another unit lost here for Blitz.
Turret ready.
Come on, Vorsicht.
This is now German territory.
Panzer 4 standing by.
Figure moving in front here, bit road. Could actually end up backfiring on it. We do see here that he realizes what he'd done then. Surprise pulled back. But over to Surprise. Still not repairing his Panzer IVs. What is he thinking? Another mine went off there again. No minesweepers either. Definitely another mistake there in my opinion. Also, he could have considered training up some of his Pioneers. I mean, there are a lot of options. But for some reason he seems reluctant to use them. Repairs the Panzerkampfwagen 4. At least he pulled a bit further back this time around. And there you go, the Schwerer boy has arrived. Not because there's a lot of beasts to slay, but you know. It's still going to have a bit of an effect here on Blitz. He's just regained most of the map, but at the same time took rather heavy losses in the process, due again to some slight issues with preparing for mines and other things. Could upgrade with the Dushka if he wants as well.
Conditions are now in effect.
Grenadiers need to fall back, and they know what that is. At least Blitz ought to know what that is.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Konski is moving through the blizzard rather close to the Panzer IV. Spotted there by the Grenadiers instead. And the Panzer IV fires away. Getting off an anti-tank grenade though. Fails to penetrate the frontal armour. Other Panzer IV down south also effectbereit. Pioneers need to fall back though.
Heavy tank here.
No, why are you moving them forward? Why are you moving them forward, Blitz?
Tanks are now available to wreak havoc on enemy fortifications.
Enemy squad is down.
Moving his Panzer IV forwards.
Enemy armor attacking.
Looks like he's trying to engage the ISU-152, but a bit curious at his decision to charge it head on. Also field gun there, but at least, I mean, he could easily have just gone through the fencing, gotten behind the ISU-152. I mean, you generally don't want to charge it head on. That was a bit awkward. Not really the best decision there by Blitz.
Okay, that's the last one.
Blitz.
Engineer standing by.
Looks like the Panzer IV hit another mine, this time gaining heavy engine damage. Really, he needs to get some minesweepers. Heavy damage having inflicted onto Panzerkampfwagen 4. Doing some nasty damage to the community in return. Might even wipe him out before he gets knocked out. And Grenadiers charging straight into the centre. Not entirely sure why Blitz is making such a reckless decision. He ought to know where there's an ISU-152. And there you go, rather swift retreat. And there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 4 kaput.
We're taking infantry fire.
Every forward's in a poor position, and we just note here that he's really taking a lot of damage. Another Panzer IV rubbing in there for Blitz. Also a mortar crew, an interesting decision to get that now.
Heavy armor ready for action.
Bit of an odd one though.
Warning! Your troops are freezing to death.
Looks like he's beginning to lose men to the cold.
We're under attack!
German tanks!
Surprise making a nasty advantage there. And there goes Shock to the squad. Down, completely wiped out there.
You need the big guns.
Panzer IV rolling in. Combat's being rushed off.
The blizzard is gone. ISU-152 standing by.
Another shot there which dramatically misses. Hitting the ruins of a burned out farmhouse. Oh, finally he got some minesweepers. That just only took him 25 minutes. Those against suppressed by Maxim, well placed. Pioneers need to fall back. Zurückfallen. Grenadiers there for flying support. Moving your Panzer IV like that. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Blitz? Popping smoke and with the rear exposed. Blitz seems to be making a bit of a series of bad decisions there. As they're getting pinned down on approach.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
There you go, Panzer IV down.
Gun crew standing by.
Flanking in those Grenadiers. Getting a minor drop there on the Maxim crew. Tracking quite nicely. We see the ISU-152 rolling in. Grenadiers need to consider falling out of there.
What do you need?
Before they fall out of this world. Another mine went off there. I'm surprised it's really been further with those mines.
Yes, well done, comrades. The point is ours.
Grenadiers though shoot rather strongly. Consider falling out of there very soon. Getting out there. Swoosh, look fun. Oh no. There we go, too slow. He kept pushing his luck beyond what was sensible.
Gun crew standing by.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
HMG ready for action.
Another Panzer IV.
Do you need
He
something?
seems pretty insistent on those.
have orders?
And not on using troop training, for example. MB taking a blast and noting, oh, veterans are feeling the maximum. Launching another larger assault towards the north. Communists get with the Panzer force, basically bringing out and trying to sort of avoid the ISU-152 at least forces sort of deal with one force while the other one continues. Not a bad tactic.
Engineers taking losses.
A flamethrower dropped as well. Could be he's now in for the Tigers, and I hope that might turn things around. And certainly considering the way the surprise assault is laid out, it could work because it's going to be very vulnerable to a single heavy tank charging in.
AT-gun here.
Considering where his field gun is. And the ISU-152 will struggle versus the Tiger Ace on its own, in particular considering the map's layout. So that might work out. Grenadiers don't need to fall back. Oh no, Blitz. Why do you keep doing that? And there we go, the Ace arrives. Drives straight in front of the ISU-152, but gets behind it, There you go, anti-tank grenade connects, damaging the engine. So Tiger Ace moves forwards. Public smoke there in the hopes of taking the Panzer IV. Christian will survive. There you go, Ace on the move. Conscripts taking heavy fire there from the Tiger Ace, charging forwards. Bit boldly, where no one has gone before. I imagine he's worried there might be mines on the road, and does of course try to avoid that. Gets behind the field gun. And hopefully we'll use target weak point, No, clears up the field gun first. Not a bad thought there, actually. There we go, now engaging the ISU-152. He couldn't benefit from mining some of the other places as well. That could actually stop the Tiger Ace, at least made an easier target. Doesn't matter now. Anti-tank grenade fails to penetrate the thick frontal armor of the Tiger tank. And there goes your 152 went it down. The Sphero boy was slain. The Beast Killer was slain by the Beast. Church collapsed with a maximum crew inside it.
Your command?
This territory is ours. We are losing supplies to the enemy.
We are bleeding.
They're getting shattered. Tiger Ace though needs to fall back a bit here. Or at least could consider it.
We must protect our HQ.
Field gun hitting quite nicely versus the damaged Ace. Oh, nice hit there from Ace though, cleared out the crew a bit. And in general, I mean, in the actual war, once an anti-tank gun crew was discovered by an enemy tank, its survivability usually went down extremely heavily. It's a little fun fact, and in fact this field gun will maybe take one more shot, and that's it, and there we go, kaput.
Infantry has been killed. Our enemy has only 400 points. Our HQ is under attack.
Man down! What do you have for us?
Wrecking the support when we come from there, might as well speed this up.
Enemy forces. Brave infantry have made the ultimate.
He could try and play for another ISU-152, and looks like he is, but at the same time he could lose his entire base in the process for all that.
The enemy has taken. Supply lines have been cut.
Go.
Sector has been cut off.
Pretty much nothing left there. And GG, and game over there. A bit of an interesting fight, a bit of a curious fight in some regards. Some interesting play from Blitz, but also some awkward play from him at times. And again, we also saw, again, what happens, when you try to aim for some kind of doctrine armor, and we saw also kind of sort of weak spots there. And again, we also saw what happens if the opponent doesn't exploit those. I mean, he really had a lot of options to do, though, but again, it never quite seemed to struck his mind. I mean, he could have had troop training on his tanks and then really buffed them out and just charged them. He could have gone for a flak panzer, punished his opponent for that. He could have gone for a lot of Stooks, punished his opponent through that, but again, it never quite happened. Instead, he rather sort of held back with his Panzer IVs even, and then sort of allowed his opponent to get the ISU-152, in which case, his tactics rather plummeted, and he ended up taking a lot of heavy losses until he got the Tiger Race, which apparently his opponent, despite having known from the start of the match almost that he went elite troops, was apparently a bit surprised to see and hadn't taken sort of heavier precautions for that, because again, he was aiming only for the ISU-152 and really hadn't thought beyond that, apparently. I mean, again, you know, keep a note out for what your opponent actually has in commanders when the match loads up. And again, note what actually sort of corresponds in abilities. And again, here it was Tiger elite troops. And again, if your opponent has gone for elite troops, you really should expect a Tiger Race eventually. And again, apparently he didn't, and that was rather interesting. And that ultimately became surprise as well. Downfall. Since apparently the Tiger Race took him by surprise. Never mind. But then again, you know, keep an eye on what your opponent is going for. Keep an eye on commanders. Again, note always in terms of timing as the map progresses, the less he uses fuel units, anything that costs fuel, and again, the more likely he has something in with a rather heavy armor in the other end in terms of doctrines, and the more likely you are to expect that. And again, if you can, punish him before that. Which again is what then didn't happen. But also, you know, commander usage, overall mediocre use from both players. They didn't really use much with it. I mean, certainly here, but he didn't really use this one, which again I really think could have done a lot for him. And again, I think, you know, crushed his opponent a lot before that. So I think it was a bit of a mistake, to be honest. And again, I think surprised, you know, he should not have been aiming for the ISU-152 for like, but he should have gone for the Tiger Beaver 10 commander initially and had some fuel caches up. In fact, I'm surprised none of them went for the fuel cache. That might also provide them with a few benefits. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gave you a strong idea of the game and what to do in different situations. If you did want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, you know, send in a replay and provide some feedback in the comments, or follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Links are in the video description. And this is Imperial Dane saying cheers.